that brings us to our story, which is actually pretty recent. August 15th of 2010, Duncan and his girlfriend V are walking along the waterfront, and they see this illuminated object that's hovering next to the historic Hawthorne Bridge.
That's when Duncan grabbed his camera and started recording it as the object sped towards the top of the bridge. Then it seemed like touched down onto the water.
I mean, the skeptics discredit the video with theories ranging from RC toys to weather balloons.
Well, you know what? We're about to meet Duncan and his girlfriend V right here where they shot the original video.
Hi, how's it going?
Duncan?
Yes.
V?
Yes.
How you doing?
Good,
Pleasure.
how are you?
Is this where you shot the video?
Just up the river, just a little bit up here.
Can you show us the spot?
Absolutely. This is about where we filmed it right here. So it was like way in the sky over here. Came back down, and it was just smooth, just glided through the air. It was just a bright, vibrant red and a blue, like, back and forth. And it just disappeared somewhere along the water line down there.
Have you ever seen anything else like this?
We're down here all the time taking walks, like almost every night. We haven't seen anything like this before.
Being that the objects seem to get so close to the water, have you thought about unidentified submerged objects?
There's been some speculations of that. Parts of this river are like 160 feet deep. Something could be hidden underneath here, right 20 feet away from us, you know? We wouldn't even know it.
Tell me a bit about the camera that you had that night. Would you happen to have it with you?
I do, actually. It's right here. It's a simple little digital picture camera.
Oh, it actually takes video.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Would you mind if we borrowed this to use for some of our experiments?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, for sure. Good luck in your tests.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Hope to
Duncan.
find out what this is.
All right,
So, guys,
we got our work cut out for us.
Let's get to work.
the Hawthorne and Morrison bridges have a lot of bicycle and foot traffic, so it's very possible that someone was up there and they threw some kind of illuminated toy.
I grew up playing Frisbee golf, and I know that they actually make discs that are illuminated for night play. We picked up a couple of those, and we found out the distance the original object was shot at was about 400 yards away. So what we did, we actually put together a couple Frisbees that also light up. We attached our own LED lights. That way, we'll definitely be able to see it from that distance.
Well, Austin, it sounds like you're our guy.
Got it. Let's go test my throwing arm.
Good luck, man.
Is out on the bridge. Bill and I are going to stay right here at Duncan's vantage point, and I'm going to be using his very camera in an effort to match his video.
Austin, the team, do you copy?
Yes, we do, Austin.
Do you guys have a visual on me?
I see him, he's right there.
On 3, 2, 1. Throw it, Austin. Many people consider Portland to be the most haunted city in the West Coast.
We're down here all the time taking walks. We haven't seen anything like this before.
Now that we've gotten our first-hand account, we're going to test one of the most popular theories, which is that something might have been thrown from one of these bridges.
On 3, 2, 1. Throw it, Austin.
Oh, wow, there it is. Oh, no. Oh,
The
no.
problem is it just drops.
He was able to get the flight path over the bridge, but then it goes straight down. It's actually pretty faint. It's not bright.
Okay, let's get him to throw another one. You ready?
Okay.
Okay, Austin, we're going to try again.
Try throwing it into the wind, and let's see if the
Wind will make it cut sharper back towards you and
keep it up in the air a little bit longer. You ready?
You got it, bud.
Okay, on 3, 2, 1.
Let it fly, Austin!
launching.
I just don't think that we're going to get enough control with this Frisbee.
Yeah, the problem is there is no real control over something like a Frisbee. You can throw it in a direction you want to go in, but you're not going to have it shift directions in mid-flight. Hey, Austin, why don't you come on back to the vantage point and let's do a side-by-side comparison.
I'm just going to grab the Frisbees, and I'll be right there.
All right, well, let's take a look at our side-by-side comparison.
Yeah.
We can see it, but
Barely.
take a look at that flight path. It goes in one direction and then just plummets down to the water.
Even though this would have been the simplest explanation, we lacked the directional control and we lacked the illumination. Those were two key things we needed to hit.
Yeah, I think it's time maybe we move on to the theory that maybe somebody was in on a hoax and actually controlling the object.
For this test, we're going to take a balloon filled with helium and tow it behind a boat. This will give us a lot more directional control.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the balloon with these LED lights that blink, so that way we can mimic that same pattern from the original footage.
And we'll take it to the location that Duncan believes he saw the object. And I mean, if I'm controlling the direction and speed of the boat, you're controlling the length of the line. That should give us enough control of the balloon to match the original movement we see from the object in the footage. All right, we're on the west bank of the river between the two bridges. I believe this is the spot.
Copy that. I have eyes on you. Are you ready to launch our balloon?
We are ready.
3, 2, 1. Release UFO.
Here we go.
Cameras rolling. Step on the gas. Turn the boat now.
Go, go, go!
That's too high, guys. That's way too high.
All right, start reeling it in.
All right.
Okay, guys, bring her home.
Copy that. We'll see you in a few.
Much better than our Frisbee experiment.
Good.
Way more control.
You know, definitely had more control of the flight path. But you know what I'm noticing here? The speed and our recreation isn't matching the original video. It's too slow.
And you know what the other problem that I'm noticing is that when you were doing your turn, because you were slowing down a little bit to make that curve, all of a sudden the balloon would actually float upward and we would lose the right altitude.
We need something with more control, with more speed, and something that's going to give us that color change we see at the end.
Let's move on to another experiment.
Okay.
We decided to move on to something to give us ultimate control, an RC plane. The F-27 Stryker can turn on a dime and match the speed of the object in Duncan's original video. If we're able to replicate the flight path and the speed with our remote control plane, then it may prove that our original video was nothing more than an RC craft like this one.
Duncan described the object as being silent. I know this RC plane will make some noise, but from 400 yards away, we probably won't be able to hear it.
Bill and I are outfitting the RC plane with LED lights. On one wing, we'll have red. On the other wing, we're going to have blue. That way, from a distance, it should give us the alternating colors we see in the original footage. All right, man, let's fire this thing up.
Wow.
Yes.
That is bright.
Looks great, guys. Well, I'm going to head to the vantage point. Got my camera right here.
Okay.
I'll stay in communication.
All right.
Good luck.
You ready to launch?
Fly this
Let's
thing.
do it.
Cameras rolling.
And 3,
2,
1.
launch plane. Cameras rolling.
And 3,
2,
1.
launch plane.
Portland was very interesting. We want to investigate that mysterious light over the Willamette River, and it hovers between the Morrison and the Hawthorne Bridge. We ran a number of tests. We got really interesting results.
So on these bridges in Portland, there's a lot of pedestrian traffic. So many believe that it could have been just someone who threw something, an object, over the bridge, a toy or an illuminated Frisbee. So that was our first test. Check it out.
I was the one up there throwing the Frisbee. I couldn't get the speed. I couldn't get the distance. And after the initial ascent, it just dive bombed straight down. Really didn't look anything like it at all.
Yeah, well, we realized we needed more control of the object. So we decided that maybe someone was in on a hoax and they had some kind of maneuver they were using to control this object in the sky.
So we hooked up a 3-foot balloon with LED lights, attached it to a 150-foot length of line, and then attached it to a ski boat. I basically drove the boat. Bill over here was reeling it in, and we were hoping that that would give us the control over the object we needed.
Now, we thought it was going to work all right, but the problem we had was when we would turn the boat, we wouldn't be able to control the altitude. The boat would slow down, the balloons would lift. When we'd speed up, it'd pull the balloons down. Take a look at the clip here, you'll see what we mean.
You can barely even see it.
Yeah, the illumination is just not as bright as the original footage.
So we're missing two important elements, illumination and altitude control.
When we realized that the balloon wasn't working, we decided, okay, we need even more control. And that's when we moved on to an RC plane.
So we actually affixed LED strips of lights onto the RC plane. On one side, we did blue. On the other side, we did red. That way, as Bill maneuvered the plane around, we could actually get the color change we saw in the original video. When I interviewed Duncan, he said he saw the object come out of the water and go back in. We were actually able to get that effect by just turning the lights off completely as it came close to the water.
How'd the RC plane do in the rain?
It performed great. Take a look at the clip and judge for yourself.
Oh, wow.
And now it changed directions.
Colors
And it
is
changed
red.
colors.
And then I would just turn off the lights as it got close to the water.
It's uncanny.
Well, I think you guys were very thorough. Looks like you came up with an explanation.
I think they nailed it. It's an RC plane.
I have no doubt in my mind it's an RC plane, and this is fake.
Do you think the people who launched this RC plane were doing it as a hoax, or it just happened that they had this really colorful craft that was mistaken?
I don't think anybody was trying to hoax anything. I think Duncan and V just happened to be on a walk, and they saw something they couldn't explain, caught it on video.
I don't believe that Duncan and V were involved in a hoax. I think this is a case of mistaken identity. And there's nothing paranormal about it.
It wasn't a hoax, but it was a fake. Definitely an RC plane.
Well, you've left little doubt in my mind. I think the RC plane is the answer. Guys, great job. Happy holidays.
Let's go open presents.
Sip on some eggnog.